The video of an off-duty police officer shooting an unarmed man outside a CHA housing project here has taken off on social media. More than 600 people have weighed in on our Facebook page. But tonight, we are also hearing from the victim's girlfriend, who was upstairs at the time, and she is speaking out after seeing the video for the first time. Fox 32's Craig Wall has the story.
My stomach started churning. I looked at it and then I was like, no, it's kind of like surreal, like, no.
Until seeing the video in our story this morning, Rhonda Day never knew exactly what happened to her boyfriend, Marlon Horton. It happened a year ago outside this near West Side CHA apartment building where Day had spent the night at her mother's. A family lawsuit says Horton came by to get Day, but his cell phone was dead, and CHA security, including an off-duty Chicago cop, would not let him in.
Had they asked, like, why you over here, who you looking for, and he would have said me, and she's upstairs, you know, if you not letting me in, could you go up there? You know, they could have just did the whole thing just different, in my opinion.
Horton eventually leaves and then urinates on or near the officer's SUV. He then exchanges words with the two guards until the off-duty cop appears to initiate a scuffle. Both guards then pull out their weapons. They continue to exchange words, but as Horton is moving toward the off-duty officer, the officer shoots him. Day believes the officer's response was completely unjustified.
I seen them picking with him, baiting him to want to fight or become combative. And I just seen them shoot him, kill him.
On our Facebook page, hundreds sounded off on the video. Redante Reddit said that's his fault. He shouldn't have charged at the police with their gun drawn. Gwen Peacock added, obey the police and you won't have problems. But many thought the officer's actions were not justified. James McCoskey said when anyone meets force with force, it must be reasonable, not excessive. Tase or pepper spray him. He was unarmed. Rhonda Day told me that she believes that if officers had done something to stop Marlon Horton's bleeding, he might still be alive today. Now, those officers did call 911 but did not render any aid. The Independent Police Review Authority still, a year later, has not issued a report on whether the officer's shooting was justified. Dawn?
All right, Craig Wall, I know you'll continue to follow it. Thank you.
A warning now before we move on. Our next story contains some video you may find disturbing. The shooting of Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri prompted calls for police to wear cameras. Our story involves a fatal shooting caught on camera, but questions still remain. Fox 32's Larry Yellen has the exclusive details.
You are looking at video from a surveillance camera in the lobby of a CHA building on the near west side. That's 28-year-old Marlon Horton in the baseball cap, the brother of Gerard Horton.
He was my younger brother. You know, he was a good guy, like any younger brother.
Horton was here to pick up his girlfriend, but his cell phone had died. Security guards would not let him upstairs. One of those guards was an off-duty Chicago police officer. Horton eventually leaves and then urinates on or near the officer's SUV. He then exchanges words with the two guards until the off-duty cop appears to initiate a scuffle. As Horton escapes, he appears to pull out some of the female guard's hair. Both guards then pull out their weapons. The verbal exchanges continue, and then, as Horton is moving toward the off-duty officer, the officer shoots him. Gerard Horton's civil rights lawsuit alleges the shooting was not justified. It identifies the off-duty cop as Kenneth F. Walker.
It's hard to, you know, see them in a situation where he didn't have to die, you know, and I felt like they just murdered him.
Last year, after the shooting, a police spokesperson said the officer shot in fear for his safety. Police reports suggest Horton lunged for the officer's weapon. The Horton's family attorney, Jeffrey Granick, says the video suggests otherwise.
Despite the fact that the police say that he was going for a weapon, he's 5 feet away from a police officer who basically executes him.
Granick says the guards could have backed off and called for help, or if necessary, subdued Horton without using their weapons. Marlon Horton's attorney also claims that the conduct of the security guards after the shooting here on West Monroe was just as shocking as the shooting itself.
I believe what the video shows is a complete disregard for his safety, his well-being, and ultimately his life.
After Horton is shot, the video shows Officer Walker walking back into the building. Police reports say both guards called 911. Horton is still moving, but neither guard appears to offer any assistance.
She picks up her coffee from the ground because she continues to want to drink her morning coffee as my client is dying at her feet.
The security company did not respond to our questions. Our efforts to reach the two guards themselves today were unsuccessful. So did either of them have an obligation to help Horton once he was shot? Veteran defense attorney Joe Lopez.
Under the law, they really have no duty to rescue the person. They called 911, they stepped back, they stayed on scene, they waited for Chicago Fire Department to arrive, and that's what they're supposed to do.
Law professor Richard Kling, also a defense attorney, disagrees.
I would think they have an obligation to at least comfort the individual and try to keep the person comforted until medical assistance comes and does what they're supposed to do. Police take an oath to serve and protect, and I think serving and protecting is more than just calling 911.
In 2 weeks, it'll be 1 year since Marlon Horton was killed. His family is planning a vigil on September 6th. The Independent Police Review Authority's investigation of the shooting is not yet complete. A CHA spokesperson would not comment on the shooting, and a Chicago police spokesman told us the department takes the issue of officer-involved shootings seriously, but cannot comment due to the ongoing IPRA investigation. Jeff?
Larry, it's been almost a year. Why did the family decide to release it now?
Actually, the family watched what was going on in Ferguson, and they just thought that this videotape deserved to be seen.
And when you watch the videotape, it is disturbing. Are they having any regrets about releasing it?
No, I specifically asked Gerard Horton whether he wanted this tape to be shown. They're obviously very adamant they want the word to get out about this case. Jeff?
All right, Larry, thanks.